Dana White, ask Eddie Hearn if he knows what I know about the Tyson Fury-Anthony Joshua fight. Bournemouth, England, from the long-running rivalry between Don King and Bob Arum, to Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. The latest heated dispute between two prominent boxing promoters is between Hearn and Zuf boxing boss Dana White. Following the intense fight between Chris Billam-Smith and Ryan Rozicki in Bournemouth, White responded to media questions about Hearn, who had a show running concurrently in Sheffield with the main event between Josh Padley and Aqib Fayaz. The back and forth in the media has intensified, and a significant point of contention between the two sides is who will be responsible for promoting the anticipated Anthony Joshua-Tyson Fury fight. Both Warren and Hearn have stated that White will not be involved, but the UFC boss insisted he would promote the event. Have they announced the location yet? No. I know the location, White said when pressed by pro boxing fans. Just wait and see what happens in the next 30 days. Do you think I'm going to publicly lie and look like an idiot in front of everyone? Do you believe that? Do you believe I would do that? What good would that do? I lied. Everyone. I caught you all, didn't I? What good would that do? Call Eddie and ask him if he knows where the fight is taking place. Call Eddie and ask him who negotiated the contract for that fight. It wasn't him. Hearn has begun managing UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, and has stated he will not allow Aspinall to compete under the terms of his current contract. I mean, if Eddie doesn't let his fighter compete, what do? You can't force someone to compete. They have to want to compete. Let's see how things go, White said. So let's see what happens. You can't coerce someone into competing. Eddie, who, obviously, Conor Ben, who left Hearn's matchroom for Zuffa, is his best friend. Eddie cried, really cried for weeks. Oh, you're my best friend. He didn't even want to pay him, but he wanted to pay my guy, Aspinall. He could totally pay his best friend. They could still be best friends. Eddie was just lying. White was then asked if, with Queensberry and Matchroom considering relaunching their 5x5 events, he would do something similar with either of those organizations. No, actually, that's not it. People who were bitterly hostile 6 months ago are now working together. Now it's me against all of them, he added. So I don't think you'll see anything like that. When asked further about Aspinall's situation, White continued, he said he wanted to be released from his UFC contract. Right? So he should release Bam Rodriguez? Sounds pretty silly, right? Congratulations again, Eddie. You sound silly again. White then went on to present his vision for boxing and his plan to implement it, with events slated to be added to both the Paramount and Sky Sports contracts. Yes, what started happening was when we broke down the structure of the sport and started rebuilding from scratch with game nights like tonight. It started creating all sorts of different narratives and started arranging different games, he explained. And the fans and the media started talking about what they wanted to see next. You know, we have a deal with Sky, which is a very big deal for us. So we're going to be in the UK a lot. And this year in the US, we're going to be adding more games for Paramount. I mean, we've only been doing this for 5 months and we've added a lot of programming to the deal with Paramount, and I hope the same thing happens with Sky. We have a lot of big announcements coming up next month. So you can expect a lot of big things from us, Mr. White also stated that the lawsuit from Boxxer alleging that Zuffa Boxing poached some of their fighters was untrue and that the matter would be resolved publicly. But he made it clear that he did not want to play cat and mouse with other boxing promoters. People always ask me, oh, you're competing with this guy? Right now, at the level we're in, we're competing with the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. You have to imagine, in the United States, the strongest force there is the NFL. And I'm sure that when the NFL sits in their executive office and they see the deal we've made with Paramount, they've been thinking, wait a minute, there's $8 billion at Paramount that we didn't get. And then, when you go outside of the United States, you start competing with football. When I think about competitors, I see them as the people who are competing with me right now. In the coming month, the announcements we make, and then, as I said, will evaluate us on January 1st of this year or early next year, based on what we've achieved this year." When asked about the timing of the WBC welterweight title fight between Ryan Garcia and Ben, White added, "Soon. A lot of exciting things will happen in the coming month."